coming up short. Fucking with Too Short. Too short, bitch. Too short, too short. Bitches keep coming up short.
Hey, what's up? So I'm just walking my dog around my neighborhood, and I thought that I would go over my current program. As I mentioned before, I am running a RTS style template based off of the generalized intermediate program. I can actually link that up to you guys in the description box. But basically, I tried the 4-day one, and because he has you bench 4 days a week, it just didn't work for me. My shoulders just were like, fuck that noise right away. So I kind of fast forwarded to his 3-day template, and I made my own changes to that as well. I believe he had squatting about, or no, sorry, I believe he had deadlift or a deadlift variation about 2 days per week, and then kind of like a heavy rowing movement 1 day per week. I modified that, so what I'm going to be doing is I got basically 2 deadlift movements, and right now that's set as my regular sumo deadlift and my block deadlifts, as you've seen. For me, you know, 2 days per week is pretty much the maximal frequency that I like to deadlift with. Any longer than that, and it's any more frequently than that, and it's just it's a little bit crazy for me, and I have problems with the recovery part of that. Anyways, as you saw this week on my block deads, they weren't very heavy, and I had to belt up, and that was from doing the beltless deads earlier this week. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing too many beltless deadlift sessions. I still have a lot of time to go, so I probably could get away with doing a couple more, but I'd like to be as close to 100% on my deadlift variations as possible for each of my training sessions. So we'll see about that. And then right now for day 1 and day 3, I got barbell back squats. The first day is going to be more of an intensity based day, with the the third day being a bit more of a volume day, where I'm going to probably just work up to something like an RPE 8 and then do repeats until I reach an RPE 9. Something along those lines. I mean, it's not going to be like that every single week. And then on my second day, because I want to squat more frequently, because I'm just trying to get this high bar squat down and learn the movement pattern and get better at it. I think I had front squats, but I think I'm just going to change that to pause squats. So we'll see about that. As of now, I had it set as front squats, but probably going to change that to pause squats, just because I like doing the pause squats, because it allows my ankle to kind of move forward into that range of motion. I can use lighter weight, and I can really focus on that dorsiflexion. So that's basically it for the squatting and the deadlifting portion. So for benching, it's going to be 3 days per week. Day 1 is going to be, what did I have on day 1 again? Sorry, I'm just trying to remember everything. I've been going through a whirlwind of benching. So yesterday, day 3, was just slingshot bench. That's just kind of a frequency day, just to increase my bench frequency to 3 days per week. Day 2 was competition bench and seated overhead press. So that's obviously just to practice my competition bench and increase my shoulder strength. And then on day 1, I believe it was touch and go bench. Yeah, touch and go bench and floor press. So I've been noticing the past few weeks, my pause bench has been kind of bothering my shoulder a little bit, and that's a little disconcerting, but you know, luckily it hasn't been anything that's caused any long-term issues. On Wednesday, my pec minor was incredibly sore after doing the pause bench, and I had to actually kind of cut my back off volume work a little bit. And then, so basically on top of that, I'm gonna have a 4th day, which is gonna be kind of an assistance day, which is gonna consist mainly of back movements, because I don't have back movements programmed into days 1, 2, and 3, besides, you know, obviously deadlifts, if you want to count that as a back movement. So, you know, those, I don't even know if I'm going to record those sessions, because they're going to be pretty boring. It's probably going to be, you know, kind of band pull downs, rows, maybe some sorts of chin ups or pull ups, maybe some biceps and stuff like that, just to get, get that vertical and horizontal pulling movement pattern in my program and keep my shoulders as healthy as possible. So as far as the basic programming goes, it's basically split right now into generally 3 blocks. So right now I'm in an intensity block. So that's probably gonna last 3 weeks. So I'm done my first week. So I got 2 more weeks of that to go. And then I'm gonna be going into a transition block, which is basically a deload. I haven't deloaded in a long time and I need one. So I'm gonna take a deload. And then after that, I'm gonna start another volume block, which will last 4 weeks. And then a peaking block, which is gonna be a mixture of kind of some intensity work, some overreaching, a little bit of testing, and as well as sorry, there's a car coming here, as well as my deload, obviously before my meet. So basically, I don't know how much you guys know about the reactive training method. I can't really explain it all here. I mean, I explain it to other people in words and it's just hard. Mike Shear's done a really good job of explaining it in his manual and his articles on his website. Just if you Google search RTS or reactive training systems, he's got everything there. But basically, the reason it works well is it's all based off of auto-regulating your training. So it goes past even auto-regulating individual sessions, because it allows you to auto-regulate individual exercises inside of each session. So say you're having a really good training day and your program calls for you to work up to a set of 4, come on boy, a set of 4 at an RPE of 9. So if you do that set of 4 at RPE 9 on a really good day, it's probably going to be a higher number than if it's on a really bad day. Sorry, I gotta pick up my dog crap. Mission accomplished. Yeah, like I was saying, say you have to work up to times 4 at 9 RPE. You had a lot of rest, you've been eating really well, you're really feeling it in your training, so you go into your training session and you have a general idea of the number that you'd like to hit. But going in that, you're feeling really well, so maybe you'll be able to get a little bit above. So, let's say you look through your logbook and last training cycle or last block, you hit a times 4 at 9 and it was somewhere around 300 pounds. Let's go with that. And you're feeling really good. So this time you go in, you start your warm-up, then you start your timer once you get up to your heavier warm-ups or the beginning of your work sets. And you do 290 for 4 and it feels incredibly easy, way easier than last time. So now that lets you, or that gives you the information that it's like, oh, okay, I see how it is. I could probably smash 300 by 4. So you might try 300 by 4 and maybe you'll get an RPE 8 and you're like, well, I need an RPE 9, so I'm gonna keep going up. So you might go for 310 or 315 or whatever. And again, it's kind of individual. It depends on the weight. Obviously, if you're lifting hundreds and hundreds of pounds, then you can go up by 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. If you're lifting 100 pounds, you might just go up by 5 pounds. It's an individual thing. Anyways, so you'll go up and you'll go until you reach the desired reps with the desired RPE. And then after that, depending on what fatigue you're trying to induce, you'll do your back off sets. So I'm not trying to confuse anyone here, but basically there's something called fatigue percents. And what the fatigue percents do is allows you to auto-regulate your training volume. So on intensity blocks, obviously your volume is going to be a little bit lower. So that means that your fatigue percent is going to be lower. On volume blocks, your intensity is going to be a little bit lower and your volume is going to be a little bit higher. So you're going to use a higher fatigue percent. So generally speaking, on intensity blocks, you don't really go above maybe 6% fatigue. That's just what I've been doing lately. I mean, that's not set in stone. Hades, heel. And then on volume blocks, you can go anywhere up to 10%, which is a way to induce a massive amount of fatigue. So the way the fatigue percents work is a couple ways. One, it determines the amount of time that you spend working on a specific lift. Go on, boy. So if I have a high fatigue percent, say, let's say 9%, I don't have the numbers right in front of me and I haven't remembered all of them off by heart, but say 9% fatigue is something like 30 minutes. So what that means is you're gonna be spending 30 minutes doing your work sets of a specific exercise. So what that means is obviously you're gonna start the clock. You usually wanna hit 2 sets before you hit your maximal weight for the day. And then after that, it's time for you to do your volume work. So the second part of the 9% is that's the amount of weight you're allowed to decrease from your working set. So let's say you lifted 300 pounds, 9% of 300 pounds is around 25. It's a little bit higher than that, but let's use gym math and go 25. Hades, heel. So yeah, sorry about that. So you're allowed to go down about 25 pounds. So there's a couple different ways to do that. Come on, boy. You can either go down right away, so you can go from 300 all the way down to 275 and then just do your volume work there, or you can go down incrementally, such as, you know, so you do your 300 for whatever amount of reps you get, and then after that you're gonna do 295, then 290, 285. So there's lots of different methods of doing that. So yeah, that's how you can determine the amount of fatigue you're going to induce. So obviously if you have a lower percentage, like, you know, 5%, that's only going to be 20 minutes or so. So obviously you're going to have less amount of sets done in that time. So anyways, for the way my training is set up, the fatigue percents, they vary based on the day. So generally speaking, it's usually going to be around 3 to 6% for most of my training sessions, and then it'll go up or down based on if it's an intensity or volume block. And that's basically generally how my program is laid out. The exercises might change a little bit in terms of I'll probably throw in some close grip work a little bit closer instead of the floor press, and my assistance exercises, not to say that there necessarily are assistance exercises, but they'll get a little bit more narrowed down. I'll probably closer to the meet do more, you know, just purely sumo deads, purely squatting, and purely pause benching. So I can do a video later on about that. But yeah, that's basically the basic premise of my current training cycle. The last time I ran RTS, it worked very, very well, but I didn't use it to peak for my meet. I stopped about 2 or 3 months before, so it was basically just off-season training, and I made really, really good gains on it, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, the thing with the RTS, you have to make sure that you're being very, very honest with yourself. You have to, you know, using the RPE method, you can't just be like, oh, that was so easy, that was an RPE 8. When it was, you know, close to a max set, because it's going to screw up all your numbers and screw up all your back offsets and everything. So you have to be really, really honest with yourself. So, you know, if you're a guy who likes to go in there and go 100% all the time, you know, I'm not saying it's not going to work for you, but it's something that you have to kind of be mindful of, because you can kind of screw up your training and make it so that it won't work for you if you're not using reasonably accurate RPEs. So yeah, that's about it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't really go very in depth into the RTS method in general, but that's how my program is laid out. Hades, heel. And it's very personalized thing. You know, you can use whatever exercises you want that you think are going to be the most beneficial to helping you with your goals. And yeah, so that's how my RTS program is planned out. Thanks for listening. Please hit the like button, subscribe to me if you haven't already. If you got any questions, go on, boy. If you have any questions regarding my programming or RTS or whatever, just hit me up in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for tuning in. Later.